There is a particular silence that falls over no man's land just before something terrible happens. Veterans described it, that held breath between artillery barrages, that unnatural stillness where even the rats froze. In that silence, a soldier's ears became his most powerful weapon. Welcome to Fieldcraft Chronicles. Today we're going underground, into the mud and darkness of the Western Front, to uncover one of the most forgotten survival skills of the First World War, the trained human ear, and how that training reached all the way to the children hiding beneath occupied cities. Step into a trench in 1916, and your eyes are nearly useless. The parapet rises above your head, darkness swallows everything after dusk, and the sky becomes a narrow, indifferent grey strip. What replaces vision is sound, and the trench environment was a masterclass in acoustic complexity, the drip of groundwater through duckboards, the low moan of wind threading barbed wire, the distant rumble of supply wagons on the Menin Road. Soldiers learned to decode this soundscape the way a musician reads sheet music, instinctively, rapidly, and with life or death precision. This auditory awareness wasn't accidental. It was trained, drilled, and passed between men like all true fieldcraft, quietly, urgently, and with absolute seriousness. What makes this chapter genuinely astonishing is how far that training extended beyond the front lines. In occupied Belgian and French territories, resistance networks developed auditory identification programs involving civilians, including children, as early warning systems for aircraft movement. These weren't formal classrooms. They were cellars, barn lofts, and church crypts where adults passed on distinct engine sound signatures the way grandparents pass on folk songs. The rotary engine of a Nieuport Scout produced a distinctive rhythmic snarl, easily distinguishable from the heavier, throatier drone of a German two-seater reconnaissance aircraft. Children positioned near roads and open fields could identify approaching aircraft by engine note alone, relaying warnings through pre-arranged signals. A shutter opened, a cloth hung from a window, a specific knock on a cellar door. This was fieldcraft at its most human. It required no equipment, no electricity, no radio, only a trained ear, quiet courage, and the community knowledge sharing that has always been the true backbone of survival. While ears tracked the sky, hands built refuge beneath it. The dugouts of the Western Front represent some of the most sophisticated improvised underground construction in history, shored up with salvaged timber, corrugated iron stripped from barns, and endlessly refilled sandbags. Experienced tunnelers learned to press their palms against earthen walls and read vibrations travelling through soil, distinguishing a distant bombardment's rolling tremor from the sharp, localized shudder of an approaching mine detonation. The earth itself became a listening device. Sustaining life demanded equal ingenuity. Water arrived in repurposed petrol tins, explaining why veterans described their drinking supply tasting faintly of fuel. Food was eaten cold because cooking smoke revealed positions to enemy observers. When warmth was possible, it came from small braziers built from punctured bully beef tins, shielded with ground sheets and helmets. Nourishment and concealment always negotiated together. Camouflage evolved rapidly, from darkened faces to garnished netting, woven with bracken and grass, breaking the geometric outlines that aerial photography hunted for. Hygiene was maintained with desperate tenacity, whale oil rubbed into feet, lice burned from uniform seams with candle flame, because sickness could hollow out a unit faster than enemy fire. What the soldiers of the First World War teach us, and what those children in the cellars of occupied France teach us, is that survival is fundamentally a practice of attention. Attention to sound, to pattern, to the subtle language of the world around you. The Fieldcraft, forged under the most brutal conditions imaginable, remains deeply relevant to anyone serious about preparedness, bushcraft, or understanding how human beings endure the unendurable. The trench is gone, but the ear trained in stillness, the hand that builds from salvage, the community that shares knowledge quietly and urgently, those things are timeless. If this episode opened your eyes or your ears, subscribe to Fieldcraft Chronicles and share this video with someone who values history, self-reliance, and the enduring art of survival. Every share keeps this knowledge alive.